Alright, so I just paused that, and you can watch the rest of this using this video. So we'll do C, D, E, and F, and that will be the end of the lecture. Okay, so for this problem, for C, none of these examples had where A is less than 1. So I'm going to edit this problem and make it be a negative 1/2. Okay? Just so that we can have an example where it's less than 1. Alright, so what you do the exact same thing. You will write, we'll do our vertex. Our x value is going to be negative b over 2a. Plug that in. That gives us a negative 2 over 2 times a negative 1/2, which gives us 2. And then we plug that into our equation. That gives us a negative 1/2 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2. And that also gives us 2. Okay, so our vertex is going to be 2, 2. Draw that little dot. Okay, and now we're going to do the growth. So the growth here, since we have a is less than 1, a is, if we look at the absolute value of a, it's less than 1, and so it's going to be compressed. So we'll do our growth. We'll do 1a, we'll do 3a. That would give us 1 times a negative 1/2. Gives us a negative 1/2. And similar with this one, that would give us a negative 3/2. And we'll draw those over. So we're going to go over 1, and this time we're going to go down 1/2. So that's about 1/2. And we'll do it on both sides. Okay? And then we're going to go over a whole 1, and then down 3/2. Okay? And then, since we have plenty of room, we might as well go on and do some more points. We don't have to, but that would give us negative 5/2. And then 7a will give us negative 7/2. Okay, so we'll do the exact same thing. We'll go over 1, and then we'll go down 5/2. Gives a point right there. And then we'll do symmetric, so we'll just do it on the other side. And then we're going to go over 1 again, and we're going to go down 7/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here. Okay, and then after that we can draw our parabola. You know, as we have more points like this, it starts looking a lot more like a parabola, a nice parabola. Okay, something like that. All right, D. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do our vertex. X in our vertex is going to be negative b over 2a, which gives us, our b is 0. So if we don't have a b here, you could basically write this as 0b, or 0x plus 0. So our b and c are 0 over 2a, and that is 0. And then we're going to plug that into our original function to give us our y equals negative 2 times 0 squared, gives us 0. So for this example, our vertex is at the origin, 0, 0. And our y-axis is our axis of symmetry. Okay, now we're just going to do our growth. So over here we'll do 1a and 3a. Plug a is negative 2, so that gives us 1 times negative 2, gives us negative 2. And then we'll do 3 times a negative 2, gives us a negative 6. So we're going to go over 1, down 2, over 1, down 6. And you can mirror over if you want, or you can go over 1, down 2, over 1, down 6. And then we can draw our parabola, something like that. Okay, we'll go to E. Do the exact same thing. We're going to do our vertex. So we'll do x equals negative b over 2a. We plug that in, we get a negative 12 over 2 times 2, and that gives us a negative 3. We plug that into our function, y equals 2x squared plus 12x plus 19. So that gives us 2 times negative 3 squared plus 12 times negative 3 plus 19. And plug that into your calculator, and that gives you 1. So our vertex is going to be negative 3, comma 1. So to plug that in, it'll be right here. Okay? Negative 3, and y is 1. After that, we do our growth pattern. So growth, we'll go 1a and 3a. 1 times a is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. So we'll go over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6. And then over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6. And draw our parabola, something like that. Okay? And then our next one, we can do, our vertex is x equals negative b over 2a, which gives us a negative 2, or b is negative 2, over 2 times a, which is a negative 1. Just plug that in, that gives us a negative 1. And then for our y, we just plug in negative 1 in for our x values. So we get negative times negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 2. Plug that into your calculator. That gives you 3. So it's going to get this point right here. X is 1 and y is 3. Now we're going to do our growth. We'll do 1a and 3a. That gives us 1 times a negative 1, and then we'll do 3 times a negative 1 is negative 3. And we could probably even do another one. Like I said, you just need to have 5 points. So that'll give us 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Alright, so we'll go over 1. And since this is a negative 1, we'll go down 1, both sides. And then we'll go over 1, and then we'll go down 3. And then we'll go over 1, and we'll go down 5. And then from there, we can draw our parabola. Something like that. Okay? All right, if you have any questions, let me know. That'll be great.